Have you dreamed of bigger things for your life? Then you are in the right place. Each week, you will be given tips on how to change your inner dialogue, conquer your goals, and ways to step into a higher version of yourself. I'm your host, Lauren Kubat. I'm a motivational speaker who hosts personal development events. I'm a sought-after fitness instructor, a wife, and a mom of 2 young boys. I'm obsessed with all things personal development, and I believe anyone can achieve the life they want. Let the Become Your Vision podcast be the inspiration you need to step into greater things. Now let's go. Hi guys, welcome back to the show. Today I am recording in my podcast room. Actually, I feel like the last, solo episodes I recorded in my closet, which was effective. But I'm actually sitting down in my podcast room and it kind of feels good. I got a new candle. My mother-in-law got me this pink candle. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, everything in my podcast room is pink. I have a pink chair, pink pictures. Now I have a pink candle. I tried to get a pink mic and I haven't found one, but I definitely feel like that is what I should focus on in 2022 is finding a pink mic and just solidifying my pink room. Anyway, I am recording this the Monday after Christmas. Christmas was Saturday this year, and I hope you had an awesome Christmas. I know that this time of year can be especially hard for so many people. I think there is so much expectation that we put on ourselves or others put on us, and I know a lot of you have experienced loss this year. Maybe it's sickness or COVID and you weren't able to get to see everybody. There's travel restrictions. And it definitely can be hard and it can be challenging. And when the holiday is, all about family, it's hard not to get sad when you're not able to be around your family, if you want to see that your family, that is. But I am fortunate enough to have had, my small little family, my husband and my 2 boys, and my mom and my in-laws, and it was a beautiful Christmas. And what makes it so magical is our 2 little ones. So we have a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old. They are 2 little boys, and just seeing their faces light up when, they saw what Santa brought, and just seeing them just find so much joy in the season made it so much better for me. And so that was great. But I understand if yours wasn't, and I feel for you. And hopefully next year will be better. And it's unfortunate that they can't all be great, right? I've had Christmases in the past or holidays, Thanksgiving last year, we went to Chicago and our family members were exposed to COVID, so we couldn't see them. And that was like, in Chicago, everything shut down. We live in Charleston, but in Chicago, everything was still pretty much shut down. So that was difficult. But anyway, hope you're having a better day if you had a not so great Christmas. So today I am talking all about ending the year and starting the new year fresh. I was supposed to have an interview today, but things happen. So, you get me today and I still have a lot to talk about. Last week, I wasn't ready to talk about this. My podcast was all about being irritated and going through the motions of that. But this week, I don't know. Maybe it was like the lead up to Christmas. It could have been a ton of things, but this week I'm in a better headspace. So I'm ready to talk about all of these things, and hopefully you are too. So I want to begin with talking about how you want to end the year and kind of taking inventory of 2021. So I have some bullet points here that I think would be great for you to think about. You can listen through this now, and then if you're driving or you're not at home or whatever, you can come back to it. But bullet points that I think would be very beneficial for you to journal about, or journal and or have a conversation with a loved one or a friend. I want to do this with my girlfriends when we go out to dinner and just all talk about our goals and some of the habits or things that we want to leave behind in 2021. Okay, so the first one that I want you to think about is, what do you want to leave behind this year? So in 2021 as a whole, what are some things that you want to leave behind? Are they thoughts, maybe thoughts about yourself, thoughts about, a significant other or a friend or a job or whatever it may be, thoughts. It could be maybe habits, any habits that you started this year or continued this year that you're like, okay, I got to nip this in the bud. Maybe it's drinking more than you really wish, or maybe it's not drinking as much water as you want to. Maybe it is people. Maybe you want to leave behind certain people in 2021. Maybe you've developed some not so healthy relationships, friendships. This could be, with family members. You've allowed somebody to treat you a certain way and you need to set boundaries. So this is something for you to think about, journal about, but what do you want to leave behind in 2021? For me, some things that I would want to leave behind, and I plan and I'll be intentional about leaving behind, is expectations. I put a lot of expectations on myself personally to go, and hustle. And just this winter season has reminded me that there's so much beauty in slowing down. I feel when I give myself balance and allow myself to enjoy more, I feel like I can just breathe easier. And I put a lot of expectations around myself, specifically when it comes to work, whether it's coaching or whether it's this podcast or whether it's teaching group fitness, and especially my women's conference. I put so much pressure on myself to make it big and beautiful, and it has been every single year. But eliminating the expectations that I have behind it all and just letting whatever is supposed to be. I think I've definitely improved this year compared to 2020, but there's always room for growth. So that is one of the things that I personally want to leave behind in 2021 is the expectations that I put on myself. And that's not to say that I don't want to grow, because I absolutely do want to grow. I want to grow as a person. I want to grow as a mother. I want to grow as a spouse. But sometimes I set unrealistic expectations on myself, and it stresses me, the F out if I'm being real. Hey, before we continue with the show, I want to talk to you about something that you might not think about too often, but it is vital in keeping you and your family safe, and that's insurance. In today's hectic world, we women have so many roles and things on our plate. Our to-do list seems to get longer and longer. Rachel Davenport, the principal agent at LH Griffith and Company, understands because she is a wife and mother herself. Rachel can assist you with all of your insurance needs, whether it is trying to find the best deals on auto insurance, helping select the most appropriate home insurance coverage, or helping you protect your family with health and life insurance. Rachel does it all. We know what a headache it can be to select the best insurance. So to save yourself precious time and energy, give Rachel Davenport a call today for all your insurance needs. Her number is 864-828-0579. That's 864-828-0579. Or find her on Facebook at Rachel Sells Insurance. All her information is in the show notes. Okay, back to the show. Okay, so the next thing I want you to think about. And I spent one morning doing this, and I still need to add to this list because I didn't give myself as much time as I wanted to. But it's taking inventory of 2021 and the accomplishments that you had this year, or the proud moments that you had this year. And I know that this year could have been filled with, really low lows, but I am 99% sure, I could almost bet 100% sure that there were beautiful moments in this year, the opportunities that you had. Maybe you got to go on a vacation. Maybe you met somebody new. Maybe you helped your child accomplish something. Maybe they were working on a project, or, applying for colleges, or working through something difficult at school. That is an accomplishment on you when you're able to help somebody else as well. So really sit with that. Was there a promotion you got at work? Did you build a stronger bond with a family member, a spouse, a child? Did you get a raise? Did you pay off a loan, a student loan, a car loan? Did you save for something that you've been saving for a really long time? Did you not go farther in debt like you have in past years? What is it? And there's so many things that you can list, but start searching, start thinking about it, and write down all the really good things that happened to you in 2021, accomplishments. You could even go as far as, I suggested this to my coaching clients as well. Think about the books that you have read. Maybe you started listening to self-improvement podcasts like this one. That is growth. And think about where you were this time last year at the end of 2020. Now it's the end of 2021. How are you different? How are you better? How is your life better? I'm sure you can find a ton of things. Yes, there are probably things that, have saddened you and, have hurt you. But if you look for the good, you will find it. Okay. Moving on to 2022. I might go back a little bit here, but thinking about 2022, what do you want to manifest this year? What do you want to bring into fruition? So for me last year, I'm just trying to think about where I was this time last year. I always make vision boards. I think this will be my 4th or 5th year making a vision board. If you scroll back to this time last year, I don't even know what episode it was, but I talk about vision boards. And I had on my vision board that I wanted to pay off my student loans and my car loan. And we did that this year. And I am so freaking happy. And to be completely transparent with you, paying off my student loans was on my vision board every single year that I created one. That has been in the back of my mind since I graduated college, which was 2011. So it took me 10 years to pay off my student loan debt. Not something that I'm proud of. Well, you know what? It was meant to be. It was meant to be. I shouldn't say it's not something that I'm proud of, because I made payments on time. I made extra payments through the midst of all of that. We had 2 kids, and so, making extra payments had to be on the back burner some months, and that's okay. And I can tell you that, especially around shopping this year and just the way I go about handling finances, I feel like an elephant has been lifted off of my chest. I feel like I put so much pressure, again, expectations on myself to pay off of those loans. And it was always this like dark cloud over my head. And I felt like I couldn't get ahead without paying off of those loans. And I finally did it. I did it this year. So this might be something that you want to manifest. So on my vision board, I have big goals. I have small goals. I have goals that I know might be very unrealistic to hit this year, but I want to manifest that. So I'm going to put those goals on that. This year, I want to manifest growth, especially with the podcast. I want this podcast to be in all 50 states. I'm manifesting now by speaking it into the universe, by putting it into your ears, by writing it on my vision board later and talking about it. I'm not ashamed that I'm not in all 50 states right now, because I know that I will get there, and I have faith that I will get there. I have such great supporters like you for tuning in every single week. That helps me so much, for leaving reviews, for stopping me at the gym or wherever, if you live by me, and telling me, hey, I listened to this podcast and it was amazing. I get emails, I get messages on Facebook and Instagram. I get reviews. Oh my gosh, that's like the love letter to my heart. I love reading those reviews. And it's a process. Like, think about your life as a process. Think about if you were handed something, how much different that would be than if you had to work for it. So if somebody was like, oh, I'm going to pay off your student loans, the day after you graduated, I would not have the same feeling that I do now about paying those off. Like, now I'm like so freaking proud. And there's so much beauty in the process. There's so much beauty in the work. So going back to that main bullet point is, what do you want to manifest this year? And growth for me is just one. And it's something I want to give more thought about when I put it on my vision board. This one kind of goes back to the original point that I made, and that is, what are you most proud of this year? But if you go through your list, you can kind of circle the biggest thing that you are proud of that happened to you in 2021. Here is the next one. What are some of your goals? What are some of the goals that you have for this year? And that kind of goes back to your vision board. If you decide to create one, maybe a vision board isn't your thing. Just creating a list, though, a list of all your goals that you have for the year in 2022, and posting it in a place that you see every day. It's essentially a vision board. Like, I write sentences on my vision board. That's the way I work. And then when I'm brushing my teeth, I can go through the list. And mine are like, I think I had, probably close to 20 goals for this year. And goals for my life, really, not just this year. It's things that, like I said, I probably wouldn't hit this year or accomplish this year, but I was definitely manifesting that. Like, for another examples, I want to be a TEDx speaker. And if you're not familiar with TEDx, they're on YouTube, and they have these pop-up events all over the world. They have them in Charleston, any major city, I'm sure, wherever you're listening, whatever your closest big city is, they have TEDx. And I want to be on stage. I think that would be so cool to share my idea. And I think what is that called? Their slogan is like, ideas worth spreading, or something like that. So I would love to spread the message of, whether it's confidence or working through self-doubt, something around that. And what my podcast is about is self-improvement. And I'm manifesting that. And in 2020, I think that was the first year it went virtual. 2021, I don't think they had any in person. I know not in Charleston. Who knows about 2022, honestly. But I'm going to have it on my vision board, and eventually one day it will happen. But some things are out of your control, but putting it on the board is like I don't know, just something fun to look forward to. And the last suggestion I have for you is coming up with a word for 2022, a word that you want to live by. What is that word? Some examples I have here is I have peace. Okay, you have to pick one, but I'm just throwing out suggestions here for you. Maybe it's growth. Maybe it's growing your family. Maybe it is growing your business, your relationships, your bank account. Growth can mean so many things to so many different people. So that's just a suggestion there. It was like hard to spit out there. Is it contentment? Like content with where your life is at? What I mean by this, it kind of goes with the word peace, but we chase a lot as humans, as women, as society. We are constantly on the chase. So maybe you are done chasing and you know great things are in store for you and they're already in store for you. They're already happening. But maybe you just want to sit in the feeling of, I'm content right now. Like, this feels so good right now. My life is so good. I have everything that I need, more than what I need. Maybe that's your word. Or one of my clients said their word last year was knowledge. So for them and me, it meant seeking everything that they possibly could for that year, for their year, 2021. And for them, it was reading books and it was listening to podcasts. It was hiring me as a coach. It was going to masterminds, going on women's retreats. And for you, seeking knowledge might be different. Maybe you don't have the finances to go on a retreat, a women's retreat. I guess it doesn't have to be a women's retreat or a conference or things like that. But you can seek knowledge in other ways. You can download an audiobook. You can listen to CDs. I know some of you guys still listen to CDs. My mom, oh my gosh, that reminded. She asked for a CD player this year. I'm like, Mother. She's like, I don't have a CD player. I'm like, do they still sell CDs? Yes, they do. But it's just so funny. But you can listen to things on CDs. I actually got, I know this is kind of like squirrel brain, but I got her a vinyl record player. And I know that's even, goes farther back than a CD player, but they're coming back around. So maybe CD players will too. But she was talking about how she went shopping with my younger brother and, they were looking at records or they saw a record player. I don't know. But she was talking about that. So I got her a record player this year. That's not really important, but I thought I would share that because it reminded me of the CDs. So anyway, so going back to that word knowledge, maybe it is exchanging services with somebody. Maybe you know somebody that you want to, maybe they're growing their business and they are thriving. What can you provide to them? And in exchange for what you want, and asking them, hey, do you want to meet once a week, once a month, every 2 months, whatever it looks like, for coffee and share ideas? And I would love to, I think a lot of times people are so busy, especially business owners, you have to word this correctly. I think as business owners hate when you say, like, can I just pick your brain? Because it's like, okay, I'm giving so much to you. What do I get in return? And, you get the feeling of, I am doing a good deed and things like that. But think about how you can be of service to that person. Maybe you are a massage therapist. So in exchange for your service to them, you could be offering massage, and in return, you want an hour or 45 minutes or whatever it is to speak with them and then ask all the questions you have about growing a business. But that is one way to get things that you are wanting to bring into your life. It's seeking knowledge. It's growing. So that's just an area you can think about as well. So I hope these ideas have helped you, and I highly, highly suggest putting pen to paper and writing these down. And if you're like, oh my gosh, I don't have time to be writing in my journal, okay, what do you do on the toilet? Are you scrolling on your phone? Instead, take out a journal and a pen and write while you are on the pot because, I think that would be a better use of your time than scrolling on Instagram or Facebook. Okay, that's all for today. If you like this episode, as always, please screenshot it and share it. I just love seeing these. Shanna, if you're listening, she has done this so much in the last couple of weeks. And I'm like, I feel the love. I love that. And it never gets old. This is another love letter to my heart. It's how I receive love is when people share this podcast, because I do put my heart and soul into this podcast. I've cried on this podcast. I've been very transparent and awkward in the very beginning, and I continue to grow, and that's because of you, and you keep showing up and listening, and I just really, really appreciate you. I know you have so much in store for 2022. And I know that you have accomplished so much in 2021. Give yourself grace. Sit down and really think about how amazing you are and how much love you really need to give to yourself. And thank you for tuning in. All right, I'll talk to you next time. And remember, you got this. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you love this episode, make sure you are subscribed so you know when more episodes come available. My goal is to inspire others to become their vision, and one way to get the word out is with reviews. I would really appreciate it if you left an honest review on iTunes, and it would mean so much to me. Thanks again, and remember to go after the life you want. Bye, guys.